Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm playing Feed the Beast Evolution on the FTOG server, and I have a plan here. You can see I've cleared out an area in the overworld, because when I haven't been busy here on this server, I've been playing Lord of the Rings online. It's only, what, 18 years old now as a game and still going fine. In fact, they just opened up some 64-bit servers, and I migrated a bunch of my 32-bit characters over to the 64-bit server. Having so much fun. It is a blast. I love it. And I've been running around through Rohan, and there's tons and tons of really good architecture built into the game. And I want to kind of see if I can duplicate that here in Minecraft. And what I've got laid out here, the beginnings of a Meadhall. Yeah, that's something that I've been wanting to build for a long time. And here, let's turn that off, turn that. There we go. Now I can see what's going on. I went ahead and there was, well, here, if I hit the map, my overworld building is here. And over here, well, in the middle, somewhere around here was the Ars Nouveau tower, and that's gone. I chewed that down. There was a nether portal over here, one of those broken ones, and I tore that down, got rid of all the bits, smoothed it out, actually leveled up the grass here twice, so I'd have a little bit larger flat area. I'll probably cover that up. There's a bunch of other areas I covered up that were pits. Ooh, I might cover up that too. Anyway, this one leads down to an amethyst shard that's geode that's down below, so I may let that grow a little bit, harvest it some. Anyway, what I want to do is build a mead hall, and they're big. They're really, really big. And so I decided, here, if we show the grids, I went ahead and decided to lay this right here in the center of this chunk, because there's not going to be any multi-block machines going on in here, like a reactor or stuff like that. So building across chunks doesn't matter. And as much as it hurts me, it's going to be even because I want the double doors to go in. So it's going to have to be even. But I did decide, I laid that right there, and I've got my little tape measure here. We'll see the width of this because I'm curious. Think. And okay, it says it's 38 blocks wide. That's a decent amount. Okay, let's crouch click, click. I'm right clicking on these, and let's we'll see what we got here. This says it is 50 wide. Why do you keep hiding from me? There we go. So 50 blocks long. That's going to be a good long mead hall, and that should give me enough to, let's turn that off. That should give me enough room to put some details and whatnot in there. Not really sure the layout. I'm just going to have to wing it. What I'm looking at doing is my standard thing, and based off a lot of the pictures, there's a ramp going up, so the doorway is several blocks higher than the ground. That gives me a border around the building that I can have. I'm also thinking it might be nice to kind of set up kind of a porch around this. This is going to be the actual building piece here. And then there's enough room to have some sort of walking porch that's covered, at least on the front, possibly on the sides. I don't know about the back. But that it just gives you an area where you can sit out here in the rain and, you know, watch the weather and see the mobs run by, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. There's some things inside that I want to do, like you rise up and there'll be a level around and then a slightly dip in the center for a feasting area with lots of fires and stuff like that. Lots of wood. I don't know how much stone I'm going to be putting into this because most of them, you know, of course we're talking Lord of the Rings, so, you know, are we talking realistic? No, it's a movie and a book, so and a game. So what I'm looking at probably is more wood based, but I'll sneak some stone in there just to make sure that it's got a good stable part. And now I got to actually figure out what I'm going to do. I've got a plan. I have no actual blueprints. Progress update time. And fair warning, there's probably going to be a lot of these as I do little stuff. I took this border and I raised it up 3 levels of cobblestone and then put the spruce back in. And I think that's a good height. A lot of the stuff I've been building are 3 blocks up. Anyway, the other thing that I did is I was sitting there saying, I was a porch going around, so I went ahead and set that up, and that's right at the height. And over here, I said, what if I drop it and do bottom slabs instead of top slabs? Not sure if I want to expose cobble here or replace that with spruce. No idea. However, I do want a kind of a border going around. Oh, hey, there's a thought. Here, let's grab a few more stairs because what I could do is because I like having, variations in here. And that's possible. Although if we're gonna do that, then that kind of restricts me to something like this, a solid wall going up. I'm kind of thinking, since we've got the frame slabs of or the frame blocks of coming up like this and then having a sloped piece, or maybe two slope for a fairly steep side. I kind of like that idea better. Do I have any? Let's see, frames. I've got some of these. Do I have some of the fat one? I've got some of these. Okay, perfect. That's not what I wanted to do. That's the only drawback of having really fast mining speed is, yeah, you can vein mine yourself into a problem. Here, let's just go like this. That's, no. What was I just saying? So, yes, anyway, let's go ahead and put these in. There we go. All right. You didn't see that whatsoever. So what I was thinking is if I had something like this, let's do just 4 of these. And then we hit these with some cobble. And I could do some variation with the cobble. So we've got this very sharp slope coming up. I like that better than the very blocky over here. And I kind of like that we've got some height variance over here where on this side, we'd see a nice straight line, but I kind of like the idea of going with solid blocks for posts that are going to hold up the roof more. And then this, go away. What trade do you have? That's a decent beginning sword, especially that capturing 5. Oh, hey, I could get me a globe. Let's get a globe, because why not? Let's see, I need an emerald. I just need 1. Just grab 32. Come here, you. I want that globe. That looks really cool. Let me get 2. I think that's all I really care about. Everything else I can get. Yeah. Goodbye. All right. Sorry for the distraction. Let's get rid of those for right now. I was just thinking that would make for... Hey, I got ahead. All right, so we'll get rid of him. Anyway, I was thinking that those would be good, just good blocks to build with the little decorations there of the globes. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking this side here with it dropped a step would be better, and then I have, it's got 3 wide, so I can have a nice 3 wide walkway going around here instead of feeling like I'm really super cramped, plus a border of cobble to kind of hold up the wall. And then I was thinking I want to pull this front porch out some, and I might make it even come out even a little bit further, just so that, this front wall here is going to be pretty flat, arching up at the top, but pretty flat looking this way. And so this would allow me to have some arches in front of it just to break up that piece. In fact, maybe 2 or 3 levels of arches going back there. Yeah, I think that's very possible. So there's a little bit of structure in here right now. So the walls are done, and I went with that steep slope, and I like that. Decided to have these blocks here lining up with chunks on the wall so that that kind of works along there. And then because these are walls as opposed to full blocks, these fences go up and down a little bit. So yeah, the connecting to walls, the fences are lower, and when they're connected to a solid block, they're higher. So these are all higher. That's a little higher. I mean, it's a cool little ripple effect. I do like. Now over here on the side, you can also see I interspersed the regular cobble with some mossy cobble and then some sugar cobble from the Bumble Zone because it's a little bit lighter, and just kind of sort of randomly, but not really. So they're kind of lines going up. But anyway, as far as the wall here, I went block six, and that worked out perfectly across. So that's a nice symmetrical piece of log spots holding up the walls on this side, and then these side it's three. You know, I'll just leave it at three, and same in the back, and four in the center. So that's kind of going on there. Got the beginning of the porch going around here, and I would like to break this up a little bit more. We get the 32 and the 16-bit colors, or the textures, which I kind of like. It does break that up a little bit, but it's very subtle. If I could find something that's just slightly off, either darker or lighter, but just very small amount, I would randomly sprinkle that in there. But it's just probably going to be as it is. And then I tried both with the logs here at the bottom, because this is a bottom slab, and just the regular slabs, or the regular planks. And I liked it better with that dark line, just demarcating the difference there. So that's kind of what I've gone with. I think what I need to do now is chop down my trees, the source of a good amount of spruce there. But I think what I need to do is kind of figure out how high this central piece is going to be, and then go from there. So I've got the cover for, I guess, this porch. I keep calling this an awning, but I've got that in place. I put this amount of cobble down so I'd have something to put these frame slope slabs on. And I like the curve of it. It's a nice shallow curve. It's not the 45 degrees of stairs, and it's smooth, which is nice. I do have a question, which is, what am I going to use for this? I initially made some hay, and it's just so yellow. And then I tried some brown wool, which I kind of like. And I'm thinking that might work really well for the roof. Yeah, and I've got a roof line up there. Spruce looks too much the same, but I think for this porch, I may go with oak. And just because it would make sense to kind of have, wood down here where it's easy to access, and then we'll have the wool up there. I may change and go with the oak up there too, but have this kind of little stair-stepped sort of roof structure here just for fun. Just playing with these frame slopes so I can have nice diagonal bits, and I didn't want them to be all even. They're symmetrical here in the center, but they're at different heights, just because I could. I may put something here just to make this connect in with the rest of the building. I could do that right now. I've got two frames. I could do that. So one there and one there, and let's do spruce, since we got that spruce there. There we go. So now that's kind of connected into the building. That looks better. All right, so we'll do that. I went ahead and made a bunch of the the brown wool, and I think I may revisit that for the roof. I did find that if I have my hammer, I can just go doink, 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 and I can take off whatever is on there, which is fantastic, including these little bits where it's done with a double slope block. So now I can go bip like this, and I can put in what I need to do. And I like that oak and spruce, and yeah, the spruce logs, the spruce slabs. I also decided that this building would have 2 floors. Well, not 2 floors. This whole area is going to be one large room because it makes it easier. But it's a ginormous mead hall where lots of people would gather, and so I wanted it to be fairly tall in here, including the roof aspect. And so we've got 2 tall bits here. So ignoring the floor, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a line. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that allows me to kind of frame things in. And going with spruce, just because that's what I had, I went ahead, instead of using just spruce blocks like these planks here, uh, I went with stairs, and they're in and out. So this pattern, that pattern, repeating the first, repeating the second, repeating the first. That way, when you're down on ground level and you're looking up, there's texture up there instead of just being smooth, which is boring. Flat walls are very boring, and it gives some texture out here. So when we're out here avoiding the zombies, you can look up and there's texture on the walls, which is much better. And I decided to do alternating patterns just because it breaks up the lines there. Not 100% sure I like this being up higher, because this here, this a little bit lower, maybe have this down one, or maybe the same height as this. It just kind of looks weird with that gap in there, and I'm not 100% sold on that. Anyway, I'm going to play with this. I think I am going to go with oak. And so I need to cover up all the rest to remove all these things. Yay, hammer. And finish up that. And then the roof slope, I went ahead and made that initial arch. And then I was able to place these cobble because I wanted it to block out. So now I can come into here and I can break these and go boink, doink, and doink. And now where's my slabs or spruce? And so we're going to have a nice smooth arch, ridge way, sort of like this. And when this is all said and done, it's going to be one massive roof line, which will be very boring. So that needs to be broken up, but that's later once I get done with that roof. Right now, I'm going to go kill me a pillager over here, I see. So the walls are in place, and I got a little bit of decoration on them, and also went ahead and got the roof here going. And that's a lot of frame blocks. Unfortunately, the copy paste gadget makes it a little bit easier to get those set up. I was sitting there thinking, oh, do I really want the dark brown having that wool up there? And I'm kind of thinking I'll just keep the spruce and the oak. It seems to work very well. I did when I went into here. I wanted a little darker interior. Smoke has gone up here and it's stained the ceiling. Likewise, I actually wanted the spruce logs in here. So I think I will use the brown wool and all that. Started with some posts here. And I think I'll just go with that instead of one where every post is below it. Just sufficient for that. What else did I do? Oh, I extended that out for fun. And this is going to be very boring if that's just this one flat surface, because flat tends to be boring. Having the stripes of different wood in there will make it look better. But once the roof is fully in place, I'm going to break out things. So it's not just going to be a single flat surface. That would be very boring. Now, speaking of interiors, let's actually go in through the inside. I've had two raids here so far, or not the full raids, but just the patrol. And I want to have a definite big set of fire here in the middle, Colin, to warm up everything. And I played with the two options. This section here, I can't remember the count. I think it's like, yeah, I can't remember the count. Or have two sections. They're the same width, but this one has just a little bit of a gap in between. I'm not sure, kind of leaning on the bigger fire. Then sitting there playing, here's a nice table setup. So, people could be eating here in the middle between the two fires. And I do like handcrafted for having these tables. Plus, this has a tablecloth on it, a brown tablecloth. I figured that would match better the colors here. Some white pillows, for people with ouchy butts to sit on. And then rather than making those tables, I started laying out some slabs to sit there and say, okay, if we had a table here with the sideboards, or the area for people to sit along the side, and two important people on the ends, a smaller table and another table, just to kind of have a large feasting hall area sort of thing going on. And the other option is to have a table right up next to the fire, and so there'd be chairs on either end, and then the benches here, just because, hey, you want to be close to the fire because it's warm and it's cold out there. I don't know. I'm still playing with what I want to do decorations wise in here. Up here we've got a nice raised platform, so you know the reeve or the thane or whoever's ruling in this hall would be able to sit up here and talk to people and whatnot. I've got I like this sloping effect where you've got a raised area and then you can walk down to a lower area. So these peons down here as they're eating at the banquet hall, they know the thane or the reeve or whoever is up there is so much more higher and mightier because he's way up there. That's kind of the way it is. Anyway, I need to finish the interior and finish off these walls. And then there's some interior bits like I need some support pillars going up, to hold up the roof. And I'm thinking, a second layer up here, not all the way around. Well, not entirely encompassing the entire, section up here, but a ring going around should be good. And then we need stairs and stuff going even further up into the hall just to break this up. All right, the roof is done, and well, at least as far as having coverings over it and no longer just the frame blocks. And on this here on the south side, I did pop open 3 hatches, so the smoke and breeze could pull the stuff out through the mead hall. Something that you would see in a large building like this. And I also wanted to do this at night so you could see the lighting effect threw some torches and no torches, lanterns. Yes, those things. Threw those around just to kind of have a nice looking event here. And most of the time I have night vision on, which I like, but I do like to make sure that this still looks good. Plenty of work has gone on the inside, and I thought I had recorded it, but evidently no, I hadn't. Again, with the night vision off, I just wanted to show it's a little dark in the corners here, but it's no mob spawning in here. I did change the fires, so instead of having a raised cobblestone, it's now buried cobblestones, and fires are down at that level, so that works. We also have a lot more tables over here. I went with different colored tablecloths to kind of tie things together, brown and red and some light grays and stuff like that. Lots of carpets, pretty much browns and reds we're going off with here. And you can see there is a raised balcony, I think is probably the best way to call it. So just threw around some various blocks and things here. That's oh yeah, there's some wood piles for the fire. Got to have that. Let's go up. Over here, I have a food prep area for the hall, and it was just an excuse to get cooking for blockheads set up. And they're all dyed brown just to kind of match the general look here. And all these are connected. This is the brains, and all the food that's in the refrigerators, veg over here, meats over here, all of that is connected. We got the milk here. You should be connected. Do I see a milk option? For some reason, I'm not seeing a milk option. That's strange. Okay, I need to figure out why. We also have the bread products up here because if we leave bread on the counter, Charlie will jump up and eat it. So we always have to put it up into cupboards. That's just the way it is. Anyway, these are connected. This here is a block in this chunk or this section, and that is connected to these, so they're all connected here. And then this is touching a spice rack, so that's what wraps around. And you could get away with the flooring, the hatched flooring, but that just doesn't work here. So but these are all connected together, which is cool. Just a little seating arrangement here for the nobles and the wealthy to see the boss down there. Let's run around the other side. Yeah, these are chipped oak logs, and they look like nice bundles of wood. And so I said, oh, that's cool. Oh, plus we've got some additional storage stuff going on, running around, just things to just show off stuff here, and seating. And I kind of like how it looks in the lighting. It looks pretty nice. Now, one of the things I did do to help tie things together, very simple palette. It's browns, so it's spruce and oak with a little bit of birch. You can see a little bit of birch being thrown in just for highlights. And because of the brown, I want a red to pop out, and that's what these banners are doing. And you would typically see huge banners of information, information of banners in halls, just to show off battle flags and whatnot that people had done. And then if we look up, we've got cross beams going all the way down to provide some more lights. We've got some cross beams going across for stability, and there's another platform up there. So let's go up there. Right here. Takes you up to this little storage area. I haven't finished up this side, but we got some storage and workspace here. Again, more chests and barrels of storage. We've got logs here for fires. And then here were the 3 holes punched through the roof. And so a person task could come up here, take down the post, and close this if it was too windy or they needed to cut on the ventilation of the wind coming through. Just a little something like that to make that happen. We just jumped down. And then what I want to do is build something out this direction. This needs something much bigger here because flat to me is pretty boring, and this is very flat. So I need something here in the middle that will help with that. And then the other thing I want to do, oh, did the rain just kicked in? Yes, it did. I love these rain shields. I need to hide them more. And then the other thing I want to do is pop open a staircase going up and put a tower here. What exactly it's going to, I have no idea. I just want to sit there and have some stuff there. This side I'll keep pretty open, leave that as is, but a tower over there would be really cool looking, as well as something massive on this side of the roof. And there you go, one mead hall with appropriate decorations going on around the outside as well. Just a lot of spruce, just because, when I think Rohan, when I think Vikings, I think the north and spruce trees up there. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Did set up a quick little stables over here with some storage up above for some horses because, hello, Rohan's all about the horses. And I did say I was going to adjust some stuff here on the side. So have a little area kind of popping out to the side, have a watchtower up here with a bell up there, and just kind of the fun of it's not aligned because I can. Let's do a final look through here. And I kind of like how it turned out. I'm not really great with interior decorations, but this kind of turned out nicely. We've got a bunch of different things scattered around. I've got food set up there. Took me forever to actually get cooking for blockheads in the pack, and but the thing that I think I liked the best was this little area up here with a lot of good storage stuff going on. Let's go take a look at the hall or the tower up here. So we just come up. Oh, that grew down. Interesting. Anyway, so we come up here. This is where watchmen would be up here and could watch out and make sure no bad orc armies are coming around. That would be bad. And somebody decided to get a little stool here to sit on occasionally, even though they're not supposed to. And we do have a bell up there with a rope to sit there and ring in case something goes off. Anyway, let's go back down. And over here is this other section, more storage. You can sit there and do a quick jump off the edge if you feel like it, or shoot arrows at the evil orcs coming in. And we got a little second floor up here as well. More storage up. Somebody snuck a bed up here. Not supposed to be taking naps when you're doing the watch, but as long as the bosses don't know, it's okay. Let's walk down. The high step assist just really causes problems with getting down those. But yeah, it's a fun little build. I've been wanting to build something like this for a long time, and I'm glad I finally got it done. Now there may be some questions. Is okay, why have you been thinking about this? Well, I've long loved the Viking longhouses. Unfortunately, there's no easy way for me to make something like that in game because I really love that nice subtle curve of the roof and the steep sides. Thankfully, with framed, I can do some of the steep sides, but I can't do that curved roof, but I do like that crossbeam at the top, and I incorporated that in mine. Plus, I've been playing Lord of the Rings online for almost 2 decades now, and I love the lore. The graphics are outdated. I don't care because I love the lore. And so one of the quests when you're level 85 is you can rebuild a a city that had been torn down, and one of the things there is the Meadhall of Heighthold. And looking at this, that's where I got the porch idea, the horse motifs. When you go inside, there's a whole bunch of red banners, and that's why I did the red banners in here, just because they're cool looking. Another mead hall, Middle Mead, has a mead hall, and that has a tower at the top that I loved that idea. Stuff coming off the side. You can also see those little vent windows for exhausting out the smoke. And in a nearby town that is Norwegian influenced, it was settled by Norwegians and has a strong, to today, Norwegian influence. The Walmart there has, it's not a mead hall, but it has some of that mead hall adjacent build. When I look at this, I kind of think Viking Longhouse. It's not quite there, but I do admire that they built with cobblestone at the bottom. Anyway, so that's what I've got. I'm glad to actually build this, and it's way bigger than I normally build, but that's okay. It was fun. Whee! It dropped down. Just fun to build something this big. And that's one of the nice things about Minecraft, is being able to build big stuff like this. And why not? I think it's fun. Anyway, this has been Grok the Duck Farmer here, geeking out way too much about Vikings and Lord of the Rings and the Rohan, or the Rohirrim, because it's the plural, and all that fun stuff. And thanks for watching. Bye.